Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Talking Mug. I'm your host, Terry, and I'm so excited that you are here with me. I took a few weeks off, but here I am. It's the new year, 2026, and that's what we're here to talk about. So grab that favorite mug of yours and settle in. Let's talk. So, people often rely on the initial spark of January enthusiasm. And by February, the novelty has worn off. Why do you think that is? Well, maybe because we make resolutions that are often made from a tradition or an external pressures, like, say, social media trends, rather than a genuine desire, such as we all have said it one time in our life, I'm sure, I will go to the gym every day. Or and I'm sure you really mean that. I know whenever I've said it, I've really meant it. Um, or maybe you will say, I'm never eating sugar again. But then the first slip up is it's like, what the hell effect? We all fall back to the easier, more established routines because it's just easier. And we make one mistake and we're harder on ourselves because we kind of made those unrealistic resolutions. Um, Going to the gym every day when you don't go probably is not going to happen. Or never eating sugar again. Wow, that's pretty harsh. Or whatever it is, we put that pressure on ourselves. And so, of course, January, we're really excited, but then February comes and we're like, oh, this isn't fun. So, yeah. So then we tend to go back, like I said, to the easier, more realistic, established routines that we have. Um, or maybe we set unrealistic goals, not maybe just the resolutions, but the unrealistic goals too. Say, like a non runner aiming to run a marathon. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but it can quickly lead to a burnout when you realize the conflicts with real life schedules. To run a marathon, it takes a lot of hard work. I've never done it, but I'm assuming it takes a lot of hard work. You runners out there, you marathon people, you can chime in, let me know. I'm sure it's a lot of work. And so, of course, your real life schedules get involved in it. And if being a non runner, probably not going to do it. I'm not saying you're not, but it's an unrealistic goal sometimes for a non-runner. So then what do? You go back to your old habits, right? So here we are again, 2026. So I'm curious, after saying all that, do you guys make resolutions, or do you make set goals, or do you do nothing at all? I'm just curious. Something I decided I wanted to do a few years ago was I wanted to go somewhere each year to a place I have never been before. And it didn't need to be elaborate. I mean, it just needed to be at a reasonable achievement. For example, one year, my husband and I went to Michigan for a long weekend. It wasn't that far away, but we had never been there before, and it was great. We met some people, and it was just really nice just to go to a place we've never been before. Um, this year, or 2025, I went to Illinois. I hadn't been there before. So it's just nice. You don't have to go to these great big places, but it can even be local places that you don't go to, and just stay for a day or two and reconnect and enjoy um, whatever it is that you like to do. Um, so another thing I did this year was I decided to write down my goals versus making resolutions. So a few things that I wrote down were, and these are in no certain order: plan a family dinner once a month, improve on my podcast, which is definitely one of my goals, refinish and sell 3 pieces of furniture. Um, if you've watched some of my other episodes, you would have seen that I have a side business where I find furniture along the side of the road, on the curb, in the trash, or people give them to me. Some people may drive by and think, what is that lady doing? My husband actually says that about me. But Yeah, I love to find old pieces that maybe people are thinking, oh, it's not any good. Some of them have had pieces where the legs were completely broke off. I actually refinished a beautiful antique buffet that had the legs were broken off, and I had it for in my basement for almost a year. I just didn't know what to do, but it was so beautiful, and I just knew that it had to have an amazing history to it. And so I finally just refinished it, and I actually was able to sell it. Um, and it was such a good feeling to see that and to restore that to maybe not to its original, but pretty close to it. And so that is my goal. One of my goals is to refinish and sell 3 pieces of furniture. I know that may not sound like much, but it takes a lot of work, depending on what condition some of these furnitures are. And it's hard for me to sell it. Once I get it done, I a lot of times give it to family members, or sometimes I keep it for myself, but a lot of times I give it to family members, and I've got to learn to start selling the furniture. So that is definitely one of my goals. Declutter. That is another one which I have started doing, and let me tell you, it feels good. I My sister actually got a hold of me and she goes, "Oh my gosh, are you moving? Like, what is going on? You're getting rid of all this stuff." But like in the sunroom slash family, or excuse me, playroom, I just decided to get rid of a bunch of toys that my grandkids don't play with anymore, or they may pull out of the toy box and play once while they're here and then forget about it. So I didn't get rid of them. I gave them to people that wanted them for maybe their grandchildren or themselves, or, whatever. And so it felt good just to be able to um, get rid of that, just declutter that. And I'm sure I will accumulate more as it goes along, but right now it felt good to get rid of that. Another thing that kind of ties into all of this is I had an elliptical. And again, I got this elliptical one year thinking, you know what, new year, I'm going to be on this elliptical. And I truly thought I was going to do it. And I did it for a little while. I had it up here in this room, in our spare room, and I used it for a little while. Then it just became a collect all, which is a lot of times at home pieces of equipment. Gym equipment does that. Um, so then I thought, but I was making up an excuse. Oh, well, I would use it, except it's in the spare room and I don't want to do it in the spare room. So we decided we'll take it downstairs. So we put it in the playroom slash sunroom. And I used it a couple times, but then I started making excuses. Either I was too busy, or it was cold in there, or, I didn't have a TV to watch. Excuses. I knew I wasn't going to be on it. So finally, I decided, one of my goals was to declutter. Let's get rid of it. And then when I made up the mind that I wanted to get rid of it, I thought, oh no, maybe I will use it. Terry, you're not going to use it. So I posted it, got rid of it, and I really hope that the person that got it uses it, because um, I sure didn't. But again, decluttering, that was one of my goals, and I've been doing that slowly, and it does feel good. I mean, I've actually gone through my clothes and gotten rid of a bunch of clothes, and it feels good, you know. What did they say the one time I read? Something about if you have a piece of clothing up in your closet and you don't wear it, I think a month or so, you're not going to wear it. Something like that. I don't know how it goes. But, anyways, I got rid of a bunch of clothes. But another thing I wanted to do, or that I did, that I had mentioned in my last video, was a vision board. I was hoping to work on it while I was doing this episode, but it was too hard to do in the lack of space that I have. So maybe that is one of the things I should add on my goal list, is to find a larger space to do my podcast episodes, or rearrange to make a bigger viewing area. So you know what? I will add that to my goals. So let me show you my vision board. And again, the space is kind of tight, so bear with me. And I found some pictures online and typed up some words of things that I like to achieve throughout the year. I also put on it some inspiring words and quotes because I love to see, I'm just a quote person. I like that. So here's my vision board. And like I said, it's kind of hard to show you in this space here. So I'm going to try to scooch over. So as you can see, you can't see it all. There are some spaces in here which I left available to add to it. So I don't know if I can turn it around a little bit more, but what you do on a vision board, if you've never done one before, you just cut out, like I said, pictures online, or if you have a magazine, you can do that as well. Back in the day, in the older days, that's kind of what we always did was we cut out in magazines. There's not as many magazines out and about that I've noticed. So I mainly did it from pictures online, and I typed up some words and found some little quotes and stuff. And what I did, then I cut them out, like I said, and then I glued them on behind. Uh, you can cut them however you want, make different designs on them, or, however. And then after I was done, I actually put a coat of Hodgepodge on it, which kind of just sealed it a little bit better. Um, but again, so this is what mine looks like. And you can see like the quotes that I have on here. Like, for instance, this one says, be real, be yourself, be unique, be honest, be humble, and be happy. Perfect words. So just even putting quotes and stuff on your vision board just kind of gives you that inspiration to continue to do what you like to do or what you set your goals to do. Um, my podcast down here, because I wanted to work on that to improve myself. My furniture business stuff back on here. This one here in the center, I really like. If you can see it, it says work or retire, which to do. So that is what I am working for, is to retire so I can spend more time with my family and my grandchildren. So this is a picture of the Bible because that was one of the things I put in my podcast episodes as well is um, reading the Bible more, becoming more involved in my faith. Um, Read more just in general, more books and stuff. That was another thing I had on my goal list that I didn't say was to read more books throughout the year. Um, Travel. I mean, it just says camping. I love to go camping. We didn't get to go last year at all. So this year, that is my goal is to camp more. And one of my goals was actually to camp further away. So if I have campers out there, if you guys do any RVing or whatever, put down in the comments some of the places that you guys enjoy to go. I would definitely look those up. So, but anyways, this is my vision board. You can't really see it all. So that's it. If you've done a vision board or plan on doing one, please let me know. I would really love to see it. So that is my 2026 glow up. What do you guys think? What is yours? I really am curious to know what everybody does out there. How do you guys not get burnt out? Like I said, the January enthusiasm, everybody's like ready to go. And, new year, just new you, new everything, which truly is, everybody feels that. But then by February, we kind of fizzle out. And just encourage each other and reach those goals or those resolutions, whatever you guys make. Maybe you don't do anything, that's okay too. So if you like this episode, please comment, share it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and like it. That definitely helps me. Comments helps me. Liking it really helps it and just gets me out there a little bit more. And I promise I will improve on my podcast. I am working hard at this. I want to be able to share some, just positivity. That was the main thing. Now I realize all my podcasts are not going to be that because not everybody is living an amazing life. Okay. If you are, that is wonderful. So, anyways, again, if you like this episode, comment, share, like, subscribe. And again, if you want to reach out to me, you can email me at my email is the talking mug podcast at gmail.com. The talking mug podcast at gmail.com. Also, I don't know if you guys know, I'll put this out there. I make little TikTok videos, so you can find me on TikTok too. I know. I am a 58-year-old uh, Grammy who is just living her best life and trying to just have some fun. So, thank you all. And again, as always, if you just be kind. And the talking mug always says, keep those mugs full and those conversations warm. Till next time.